Hey, what's up, Coin Fam? In today's video, we're talking about a rare and valuable wheat penny. We're talking about two rare varieties of the 1922 Denver minted penny. Watch this video to find out what you need to know to identify the rare variety of this coin. In 1922, there were over 7 million wheat cents minted. That's a very low number compared to other years. Another interesting fact is that all 7 million pennies minted in 1922 were minted at the Denver Mint. That's right, all Denver, no Philadelphia, and no San Francisco. During this time period, the other mints were busy busting out millions of peace dollars. That means that every penny minted in 1922 will carry the D mint mark for Denver, right? Well, that's the way it was supposed to happen. We know that at least one die used in 1922 minted pennies with little or no sign of the D mint mark. If you didn't know this important information, you'd probably misidentify a 1922 Denver minted penny as a 1922 Philadelphia minted penny, since many pennies minted at Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. The die mentioned with little or no D mint mark was damaged from extreme wear, and the die was overpolished. This overpolishing resulted in wearing off of the D mint mark from the die. This makes these 1922 no D pennies worth a lot of money, which creates some concerns that we'll talk about shortly. A regular 1922 Denver minted cent is still worth a pretty penny. If you have one in mint state condition, you're already looking at a penny worth between $140,000 to $22,000. In low grades, a 1922 D penny is worth at least $10. Here's what you need to look for. The mint mark is located on the right side of the coin under the year. So find the 1922 on your penny and look right underneath of it. If you don't see any sign of the D for Denver, you may have hit the jackpot if it's authentic and if it's a really high grade. Now, if it's authentic and it's in a low grade, you're still looking at hundreds of dollars. It's best if you have a magnifier or a coin microscope to tell the difference between a no D and a weak D. You can check out the link in the description of this video for some reasonable prices on coin collecting equipment. I've seen estimates that there were about 25,000 no D pennies minted in 1922 with a current population of only about 10,000. As you can imagine, whenever something is worth a lot of money, there are going to be counterfeits, and we all know that U.S. currency isn't immune to counterfeiting. Because of the high value of these no D pennies, there are plenty of counterfeits out there, so you need to be really careful if you're thinking about buying a 1922 no D penny that hasn't been graded by PCGS, NGC, or ANACS. Be very wary about making a 1922 no D purchase from eBay, Etsy, Craigslist, pawn shops, and questionable local coin shops. These counterfeit pennies are usually authentic 1922 Denver pennies that have had the mint mark sanded off or removed by some other means. There are two varieties of this no D penny possible. There's the weak reverse and the strong reverse. These terms have to do with the strike of the backside of the penny. It's easy to understand the difference when you look at them side by side. The penny on the left is the strong reverse, and the one on the right is the weak reverse. Here are three examples of some variations of the mint mark you might see. The penny on the left clearly shows the D mint mark. The one in the middle has a partial or weak D. Even though you can barely make out a portion of the D, this isn't considered the no D variety. The penny on the right is the authentic no D penny. Here's a real 1922 no D penny. This was graded Mint State 64 red by PCGS. You can clearly see the mint mark that's supposed to be below the date is missing. When you flip it over, you can see the strike on the back is weak. This penny was sold by Heritage Auctions for almost $30,000. Can you imagine finding a rare penny, then selling it for $30,000? Here's another one. This 1922 no D penny was graded Mint State 65 brown, and it has a green CAC sticker. That sticker tells us that this penny is one of the best in its grade. Take a look under the date, and you don't see any sign of the mint mark. Flip it over, and you can see that this is the strong reverse variety. This penny sold at auction for over $67,000. If you think that's a lot of money, take a look at the pennies in the video to the left. Thanks for watching.